to you. I'm Mrs. Jurek. I'm the babysitter.
What?
Mother?
She seems very nice, right? And she has lots of experience.
Of course she does. She's 200 years old.
It's not fair. Babysitters suck.
All right, you little maggots, now line up. Time to go over the rules.
Excuse me? Are you serious?
You can't run a tight ship without rules. Now move!
Hello.
Hi.
We're back, boys and girls.
Back.
Ladies and gentlemen. And everybody in between. Guys, my name is Pete.
And I'm Scott.
And these
are the movies that made us gay.
Woo-hoo. Well, we're back for another episode. We've got a really fun show today and a really fun guest. Scott, why don't you introduce our guest?
Oh, man. Welcome to the show, Mark.
Hello.
Mark Rosenberg, who I've known for years.
Yes, indeed.
Really funny. And I think that we may have, friended each other in the early days of Twitter.
It was Twitter.
It was Twitter.
Yeah.
Like in 08, 09.
Yeah.
And then Mark used to live in New York. He moved out to L.A., or the L.A. area.
Tragic.
And it's fun to have you on.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having
it's good to
me.
see you. It's been a while.
I'm so happy to see you guys.
Yeah, it's good to see you. So we watched Don't Tell Mom, The Babysitter's Dead from 1991.
Yay.
Directed by Stephen Herrick, written by Neil Landau and
Who-
Tara Eisen.
I found out last night, wrote a bunch of episodes of Melrose Place.
Yeah. He also directed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. That's kind of what scored him this gig.
I mean, honest to God, legend.
It kind of strikes me as a guy that would gravitate towards 90s soaps.
And The Young and the Restless.
And The Young and the Restless, I
Oh,
love
my
that.
goodness.
Yeah.
He's had an interesting filmography. He did the live-action 101 Dalmatians,
Oh.
too.
Wait, this is the director, Stephen Herrick?
Yeah.
Okay,
He did Life or Something Like It with Angie Jolie.
Oh.
Wow.
But yeah.
Legend.
Interesting
status
interesting
as far as I'm
filmography from that
concerned.
one.
He sounds like kind of like a hired gun kind of a director.
Yes.
Like a director for hire.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not really an auteur.
No.
I wouldn't say this is clearly a Herrick.
Yeah, and I
Joint.
was thinking, so Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, a movie that I definitely grew up on this movie. What about you?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I always remember the image of this poster in the video store.
Yes.
Do you remember when you would just go into Hollywood Video or something? I feel like this one would always be
And it would be like a
behind
3D.
the counter.
Yeah.
Well, at
Yeah.
the Blockbuster by my house, it was like a 3D, and
Yeah.
the babysitter's legs were
The legs
up,
are in the front,
and the
yeah.
cast was in the back. Yeah, I vividly remember that.
And it's one of those things that I don't think it was all that successful theatrically, but this is an HBO movie. So
It was on HBO all the
on
time.
the reg, and it still is.
It still is.
It has not left HBO
That's how
Go
I watched
for
it last
years.
night.
Me too.
Yeah. So this is just a movie that's always there.
Yeah.
It's like a ship in the night.
Always be with us.
It's always on HBO Go.
And thank God for that.
Yeah.
So yeah. What about you, Pete?
I did not see this in the theater. I definitely remember seeing it at home, probably on HBO, probably renting it a couple of times. I don't think I owned it, but I definitely watched it a lot.
Well, you
and-
didn't need to. It was on
No,
HBO
yeah, it was always on.
literally all
Yeah,
the
it was
time.
always on. So, and yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, here's the big question for the ages: is it swell, like that's swell, or is it Sue-Elle, like Sue Ellen?
The main character's name
Yeah.
is Sue Ellen,
But they all
her
call her
nickname is
Swell.
Swell.
Okay.
I have that written down in my notes too.
Okay, so my big thing is I just kind of was like, okay, I could. But just imagining myself in Swell's position,
Yeah.
I had younger siblings, and I was like, okay, what if I had to go out and bring home the bacon? Would I be able to fake it at this job and be like an executive businesswoman, And just looking at her and just seeing how aspirational Christina Applegate just became a fucking boss,
Yeah.
and, became the mom of the head of this family. That was just so cool to me.
And that's definitely why this movie speaks to young people, because it's super satisfying to see these characters succeed in adult situations, but they still manage to stay true to themselves though in all of this.
Yeah. Well, the brother kind of does a little bit of a 180, but
Well, glamorized working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you're like, oh my God, when you're a kid, you're like, oh my God, this
Yeah.
looks so fun.
Yeah.
I could run a household.
Oh, yeah.
Till you get to be an adult and you're like, oh my God, this
Screw this.
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I think it part of was a little bit of a remnant of the 80s, like, idea of
Right.
just, you know, being that kind of a yuppie and, like, working in a high-rise and all of that.
This is like the young adult version of Working Girl.
Sure.
Meets Home Alone.
Yeah.
Meets Home Alone. And yet that's probably why it was made, is that
Yeah.
the Warner Brothers just wanted to capitalize off of this wild success of Home Alone.
Nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that.
No.
And I like that it's sort of targeted to girls, too.
Yeah.
Or in our case, young homosexuals.
You know the other thing that I noticed when I rewatched it last night?
Uh-huh.
It does not glamorize L.A.
No.
No.
It's such a weird, like, it almost is trying to hide that it's L.A. Like,
Yeah.
where do
I
they
took
live?
it that
Tahunga?
they live in, like the edge
I
of the
have no
valley.
idea.
I have in my notes, like, where is this farmhouse?
Yeah, I feel
And,
like
yeah, I mean, like every shot of LA is like covered in
just
smog
ugly,
and filth.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, wow. You
take
really?
it- I take it that
Traffic,
her,
like,
her
all of
office
it.
is probably like mid-city, Century City
No,
or
it's
something.
downtown.
It's downtown.
there are shots. Well, I mean, it would be in the fashion
Oh,
district.
sure. That makes
GAW,
sense.
come on. General Apparel West is in the fashion district. It's not like 9th,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, but they definitely did not go out of their way to cover up the fact that LA is a hellhole.
Yeah.
I also like that it's sort of she commutes to work.
Yeah.
And just what it's like to drive from downtown to
She-
like
she
a
fully
random
looks-
area
I'm like,
of the
I
valley.
do that every day now.
She
It
fully
sucks.
tells them, she's like, I have to get up at 5:30 every morning, you know, to beat the traffic. And they show her sitting in traffic, like looking longingly at those kids on their way to the beach. Those fuckers.
I'm obsessed with all of her friends in this
But yeah,
movie,
I mean, they're
too.
Yes.
yeah, the friends are great. Her friends, the brothers' friends, the dirtbag shitheads that just like hang out in the brothers' room and are just like smoking weed and like jerking off and like in the brothers' room. Like I was kind of obsessed with them as a kid. But yeah, I had a lot of questions because I was very much like growing up in LA. I was like, okay, those buildings look like downtown, but like her neighborhood is
Yeah,
I have
like
no idea what
farmland
this is.
somewhere?
She lives in like Central California.
Yeah,
Central
Her
California
commute is
somewhere.
7.5 hours every
commuting
day.
from Fresno.
She lives in like San Luis Obispo or somewhere.
Yeah, who the hell knows? But I mean, this movie brings up a lot of questions. Location is just like the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of stuff in this movie that is, I guess, quaint. Sue Ellen, who's playing 17, I think she's 17.
I think she
is the whole
just
thing?
graduated high
But
school.
I would also like
too.
to bring it back to it's 1991
Yes.
and everyone looks 40.
Oh my god!
Everyone looks 40, but yet it's 1991. But that said, you could put Christina Applegate's wardrobe and you could buy it in Urban Outfitters
Oh, for
right
sure.
now. That opening look, that red number with that hat, you could totally buy that now in a store.
Oh, all of
And
her,
it could just pass
all
as
of
like
her business
a
looks.
teenager. Yeah.
All of her business looks are popular now.
But everybody was 40.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like
yeah.
everybody in that movie
Well,
looks
the
40.
whole thing is that they keep commenting to Swell like, "Oh, you look so young." Oh, I can't. And it's the joke is that she actually is young,
Right.
But like every time somebody tells her like, "Oh, you look so young," does anybody tell you how young you look? And I'm just like, she kind of looks like she's 25.
She hasn't aged a day.
Keith Coogan,
Oh,
I think
Christina
is
Applegate looks
I
exactly
think-
the same as she
I
does
think
in
her
this movie.
brother, played by Keith Coogan, is supposed to be like 15, but he looks 30.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when they cut the hair, he's got like it's
All the friends look
downhill.
like
Yeah.
mid to late
oh
20s.
for sure. Yeah.
Everyone is 40.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
then that's because we've all found the fountain of youth. since
yes.
then.
Oh yeah.
And we're all just plastic dolls.
Well, because I mean, Christina Applegate couldn't have been more than 20 though when she. Made
Oh, I'm
this
sure
movie.
she
Probably
was.
Yeah,
is.
and
She
she
was-
looks fucking amazing
Yeah,
right
I
now.
mean, she'd probably done about 2 seasons of Married with Children at the time.
by nine. Married with Children started earlier than you think.
What year did it start?
It started in like 87.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I fully thought it was like 89.
No, it started in like 87. So this is definitely like season 4 Kelly. She like
Yeah.
lost the bob, and it's not as platinum as it was in the early seasons of Married with Children.
According to IMDb trivia, so I'll take that with a grain of salt, this
Yeah.
role was written with Winona Ryder in mind. But then she chose to do mermaids instead.
Okay.
Good choice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I could see Wino in this role.
She's like, do I work with Cher or do I work with?
The director of Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
That is a Sophie's choice, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I mean, this would have been more of a lead role, but you know,
I love mermaids though.
Mermaids
Yeah,
is great, and we
amazing.
fucking stand Christina Applegate.
Of course.
Yeah,
We love her here.
yeah. She kills it in this movie. She's super charming.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
And you know what's great about Christina Applegate? That you kind of underestimate her, but when you think about it, that bitch has worked steadily since Married with Children. She's always had something. Like
Emmy
she's never
winner.
Yeah.
Emmy winner. She's never been like down on her luck or like lulls in her career. I feel like she's consistently worked.
Yeah. And the show she's on now is absolutely fantastic. What
This
is
is
it?
what I hear.
Dead to Me.
Dead to Me.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh my
It's good?
god! Cancel the podcast and watch it now.
I've heard
I'll
nothing but
watch.
great things about it.
It is fantastic, and she's nominated for an Emmy this year.
Awesome. We'll definitely go watch that. And we're back. We just watched all 7 episodes.
Loved it. Her
The
chemistry,
magic of podcasting.
her chemistry with Linda Cardellini is
It's
magical.
fantastic. It really is.
Well, we'll earmark that for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so these kids, her brothers and okay, no wait, we have to talk about the mom.
Who? Okay. First
Do you
of all,
remember
let's
how much?
Yeah, there's
do you,
a lot
Do you
to
guys
unpack.
remember of how old she said she was?
40. Everybody
She said,
40.
"I'm 37."
Her mom.
Yeah,
That was
Okay, first of
37
all-
in 91.
Jesus Christ.
that woman was 50 if she was a day when
Oh,
she shot
totally.
This movie.
First of all, let's call her by her Christian name. She was the mom from Providence. She was the ghost mom from Providence.
Oh my God.
She was.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
First
yeah,
of
yeah.
all, okay, so Ghost Mom from Providence has 5 fucking kids and is like, I'm going on vacation without you. Peace.
Yeah,
I'm
Like-
going to Australia with my boyfriend
for
2 months. Have fun.
Okay,
live-in
secondly-
babysitter?
But secondly, they live in a motherfucking hellhole
Oh,
of
it's
a
a
house.
shit. Oh
Like,
my
what
God.
are you
Kind
doing
of
as a mother?
I'm kind of. It's a hellhole of a house, but I'm
failing.
impressed that a single mother with all these kids can afford that mortgage.
Well, they live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
So
I guess it was 91
Before the
so-
like housing bubble. And,
Yeah,
like-
it could have been willed. Like, we don't know the backstory.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
But, like,
This house is
where-
going to pot. It's like a hoarder
yeah,
house. Like
where,
these-
and also, you have 5 kids.
yeah,
3 of which are under the age of 14.
yeah.
You're going to leave them for 2 months?
With a stranger. None
a
of them have
stranger.
met Mrs. Sturrock
Yeah.
at this point.
Mrs. Sturrock, by the way, is Bernie Sanders in drag.
It is Bernie Sanders.
It
in
is
drag.
Bernie Sanders in drag.
I'm obsessed with that actress, though. She's so funny.
I have no idea who that is.
no one
It's
does.
Bernie Sanders in
Like,
drag.
she actually did die when they made this movie.
Oh.
So, did your guys' parents ever just leave you? I mean, would they just go on trips like this
Hell
for
no.
extended periods of time?
Hell
no.
Your parents did.
My parents
Yeah,
did.
No.
Are you serious?
I would never be. I mean, sometimes left home alone, but I would usually stay at my grandma's house. In kind of the later half of high school, I would just stay at my grandma's just to keep her company.
But Scott was raised by the
You're
Wild
such a
Thornberries.
nice guy, Scott.
Yeah.
The Wild Thornberries.
But yeah,
His
my
where would they
parents
go?
used to travel.
Where
a
would
lot.
they go?
They would go
Safari.
They would go on to like Australia, Africa. They were big outdoorsmen and outdoor
Yeah.
writers and
Well, you guys
photographers
were
too.
in Montana.
So,
Yeah. And staying with your grandparents, and there was 2 of you, is
yeah.
different.
Well, for a majority of my high school, it
oh
was
yeah,
just
there were 4.
me.
Oh,
too.
just you. Yeah, that's right. Like
Oh, there
everybody
were-
else had graduated and
There
left.
were 5 of us.
Yeah.
My parents were like, no
Oh yeah, there were
fucking
5
way.
of us
No.
too. Yeah.
So,
They weren't going anywhere. We weren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
would your parents have ever hired like a babysitter when you were like in high school to
No.
stay at the
High
house
school?
with you? I always think that's
Not in
interesting.
high school. We had a good friend who was a neighbor who would come over and check on us, but
Yeah.
not like no.
Yeah.
And my mom never really left us overnight.
Yeah, no, overnight's crazy. And I feel like, okay, maybe 2 months is a little bit of a long time to
That
leave.
is a very long
swell
time
in
to,
charge.
It's a while.
to leave 5 children.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm saying maybe her reasoning for hiring Mrs. Sturrock is, okay, Suelle's 17, she's going to be no, she's graduated?
Yeah.
It's
I think she's
unclear.
graduated. Yeah.
Because she talks about, like, I'm thinking about going to college.
And she's also smoking cigarettes in front
The
of her
entire
mom.
time?
Smoking cigarettes.
Yes.
In front of her
In
mom.
front of her
Just
mom.
laying
I
on the-
would have never
I know this was
done
like
that.
I know this was 91 and
No.
smoking
Smoking was
with
still bad
teenagers
then.
was
Even
very
then, yeah.
was probably a little more prevalent now, but although kids do vape now, so it's hard to compare.
It was a certain
Yeah.
kind of kid who smoked in front of their parents. They
Yeah,
were
she
the
didn't
kind-
give a fuck.
Yeah, they were the ones. Yeah, clearly she did not give 2 fucks about them. And,
But they also lived in like Sanford and Sons garage.
Yeah.
So like I
Yeah,
guess
for
no
sure.
one was really
I
putting
guess
on
that
air.
everybody has those houses that you went over to in grade school or high school, and it was just like a disaster.
Not that bad of a
Not that
disaster.
bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was I mean, I even remember watching that as a kid and being like, "What the?"
I
fuck
feel
is
like
going on
social
here?
service needs to intervene with this
And,
whole
like-
situation.
Yeah, and every now and then the kids were really sassy. They were sassy to the mom. They were sassy to Swell. Like, they were shithead kids.
Yeah, awful.
But it's like,
It's
clearly,
a great reason. You watch this movie, you'll be like, "Okay, this is a great example of why I never
birth
need
control.
to fucking have kids."
Yeah.
There's some Danielle Harris lines that make me laugh out loud in this movie numerous times. She plays the
younger daughter.
The
Oh,
younger
Oh yeah,
daughter.
she works.
Yeah.
She works.
Yeah, she was.
She still works.
Oh yeah, she's fully like.
Yeah, I think she was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Is she one of the Mansons? Like the Manson
think-
followers?
I
It
believe-
strikes me as a Danielle Harris type
Yeah,
of role.
well,
she's
so
in
I'm sure
Halloween.
she is.
Yeah, she had her whole
She
run
was
of
in Halloween.
She did like 2 of them.
She did. Had a big character arc on Halloween. She's in like Urban Legend.
Yeah.
She's
Good
also
for her.
in the Rob Zombie Halloween.
She is.
Oh yes,
Yep.
she sure is.
And I mean, where I knew her from, Roseanne.
Of course.
She was the sexy neighbor.
Before we hated Roseanne.
Yeah.
God, we hate so many things now. It's so hard to
Cancel
cancel.
cancel culture is pretty intense.
It's exhausting.
But okay, so they were really shitty to everybody, the kids. But it's like it makes perfect sense because like they had zero supervision. Probably
Right.
they had this like absentee mother who like let them get away with everything. The way that Walter empties an entire box of cereal, not only into a bowl, but all over the kitchen table and the kitchen floor to get the prize out,
And doesn't clean it up.
And doesn't clean
I'm
it up?
so
Yeah.
OCD.
and
that's
nobody
the only
tells
thing
him anything.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Your mom
I
would've
would
decked you.
have heard it. Like
Yeah.
Oh,
the mom
yeah.
from Providence was a terrible mother.
no, it was awful. And so it kind of goes to like kind of understand why these kids are mini sociopaths and decide to
They are. And then it's like
hide
a
the
summer of
body.
crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, the babysitter
Wait, okay,
bites
so-
it in the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, so like let's mark that. Let's earmark
Yeah.
that as crime you'd go to jail for number
yeah.
1, illegal disposal of a body.
yeah.
Or at least a good time in juvie for all these kids.
Yeah.
They're going to be shipped out
She fully
to like military school for this.
yeah. None of them are freaked out at the fact that there is a dead body in
Yeah,
their house.
it's like, oh, okay, we've done this before.
Yeah,
kids.
and then
You
they
know,
just-
we're doing this again.
yeah, they just scheme to.
Did
like,
you have one of the clips of them talking about the babysitter?
I do. I have.
You should
this one
play
here.
it.
Told you to talk to her. We didn't want you to send her to the glue factory.
I didn't kill her, Zach. She died in her sleep.
Probably choked on her whistle.
She doesn't look dead. That's because it just happened, so you can't really tell. Like a MacGyver?
What should we do with her body?
Call an ambulance? Call the cops? I don't know. I mean, they're gonna come and get her. They're gonna ask us a lot of questions.
They'll probably blame us.
They'll definitely call Mom.
She'll blame us.
And she'll hop the next flight home, and then she'll be in our faces.
I don't want Mom to come home.
I don't either.
I don't want Mom to come home. Let's dispose of the body.
I mean, the reasoning behind that.
I love the
Flawless.
Bernard Herrmann inspired score like it's Psycho or something.
Yeah.
When they're disposing of this body, they're covering it up with the California raisin sheets.
Yeah.
That made me laugh.
I had those.
Yeah,
that made
was
me laugh
cute.
pretty hard when I saw it.
But yeah, I mean, the consequences. Illegally disposing a dead body,
Yeah.
or Mom coming home. Your mother must be a real piece of shit.
They stuff her in the trunk in a, like, quite literally a trunk.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like an
the
old
whole body.
like a stamp.
What do they put on the note when they drop it off to the
Like nice
Sweet
old
old
lady.
lady,
Yeah.
nice old lady died of natural causes?
Yeah.
Sorry or something.
Oh, but that leads me to another really funny Danielle Harris line because the mom left Mrs. Sturak a bunch of money to like feed these kids, like 2 months worth of money, right? They can't find the money. They figure out that it had to have been like literally on her. And so Danielle Harris says like, what did she say? She says like, let's go get the old bat.
Let's go get the old bat.
She's like, let's go get the old bat or like bag of bones or something. But it's just so funny how just like, they're like, fuck her.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
That shot of Danielle Harris walking out of the room in
that dress.
In that dress.
Yes.
First she wakes up at the butt crack of dawn.
I mean, honestly.
There's so much that goes on in this movie, and we're like 15 minutes
We
in.
haven't even
And
talked
there's
about
so many awesome characters that we
Yeah.
haven't got to yet.
We haven't even talked about the whole working girl aspect of this movie too.
Yeah, which we will definitely get there. But I mean, the impetus of the movie is that okay, now one of them has to get a job and and make some money because otherwise they're going to eat the dog, which is another line that Danielle Harris.
Oh, the little corgi. His name was Elvis, right?
Yeah, Elvis. We can eat Elvis. Awful.
I love how they decide on who's going to get the job. When
Mama Celeste face up.
The Mama Celeste pizza box. Pete
Yeah.
and I settle arguments that way.
Always.
We toss a Mama Celeste box up in the air.
But they don't make the family size Mama Celeste
No.
anymore.
Don't.
That
Only
large.
pizza for one.
Yeah. Those gross one. They're like, I remember when Mama Celeste pizzas used to be $4 for $1.
I think
How
they
high
still
quality
are.
can those be?
They're fucking good. Like once every 6 months.
Like,
I mean, once
35-cent
every
pizza.
6 months. Yep. It's not bad.
What do we got? Okay. She totally fakes a resume.
Well,
Yeah.
wait. First, she works at the fast
Oh,
food
the
place
clown dog.
with
clown dog.
everyone's
Yeah.
childhood crush.
Josh Charles.
Oh my God, with
Movies-
those supple lips.
Movies that
Jesus
made us
Christ.
gay all-star Josh Charles because we just did
he's
threesome.
back.
Oh my God,
We
he's
saw-
still so hot.
We saw his side ass in threesome. Oh no, we saw his full ass
We
in
saw his
threesome.
full-
Yeah.
And
Booty
he
and threesome.
is
Yeah.
so motherfucking cute and Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's
Yeah,
Dead.
he is.
Definitely the type of guy that you'd want to bring home to mom.
Oh my God, I love him. Where is he?
He's around. He's on TV a lot now.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
I think he still steadily works.
No, but you're right. That scene when they're in like the Toys R Us, so charming. I was just
I
watching
mean,
that, them bouncing around on
Didn't
those
you just
things
fall
and
in love
just
with
like,
him all over
aw.
again?
Yeah, totally.
You totally get it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I love you too.
Yeah, I feel like he should have worked more as a younger man. I feel like he works so much more now.
He's so cute.
Yeah, he's great. But yeah, she works at the Clown Dog, and they give her the
Scrubbing
shittiest
fat
job.
bats. I just still don't even know what that is.
That turned me off to fast food forever. I feel like it was
Did
that
it
where I
really?
was just like, no, not eating it.
Working it?
Oh.
Yeah, definitely.
That's all? That
Yeah,
was the
no.
only thing that turned you off
I've
to that?
definitely done a few dishwashing jobs in my
Yeah.
career.
No,
And yeah, it fucking sucks.
yeah, cleaning out fat vats at a hot dog place. That sounds awful.
She didn't like that.
No. I mean, at least Josh Charles was like doing deliveries.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was so cute in that little clown costume. I love him.
Yeah, he's
I
great.
have like a deep love for him
I
after
mean,
watching Don't Tell Mom the
hey.
Babysitter's Dead again. I was like, God damn, you were so fucking cute.
We'll reach out to him on Instagram.
So,
See if-
so Swell quits. She tells her
oh yeah, she walks off.
crazy boss to take this job and shove it.
Yeah, and that's when she starts looking through.
And that's when she fakes the resume.
yeah,
Out of a resume book.
Out of a
As a
book.
resume book.
Yeah, and some of the stuff on it is kind of amazing. So she worked in like Tokyo.
Yeah, I went to Vassar.
She didn't bother thinking like,
She
I
just
like-
needed money. Girl,
Yeah,
I feel
that's
you.
true.
We are
I like
living in
true.
Trump's America. I
like
fucking
that.
feel you.
I like that when Joanna Cassidy mentions Vassar, Christina Applegate has that look on
Yeah,
her
she's
face
like,
that
what are
she's
you
like,
talking
what?
about?
sure, yeah,
Like she
Oh
doesn't
my
even
God.
remember what fake school she went to.
yeah. Well, also too, when at the very beginning of the movie, before the mom leaves, she does tell her like to register for community college, and she's just like, yeah, fuck off, whatever. So I assume she didn't really have a lot of like academic aspirations.
That's fine.
But you see her doing little doodles and sketches
Yes.
in her fashion magazines
This is
too.
true. This is
that
true.
she does have an eye for
Yeah.
fashion.
Yes, fashion. Yes, they do set up that Swell has,
She has a creative eye.
a keen fashion sense. But she finds a job for a receptionist position, right,
Yes.
at General Apparel West, downtown LA, and she goes, and this is where we meet the amazing Carolyn.
Oh, I love this.
Personnel.
I love this performance. This is also a reference that you have to be careful of who you use it in front of now, because millennials will just look at you like they have no idea what you're quoting.
She was such a bitch.
Wait, are you talking about this?
You are supposed to go down to personnel. That is on the first floor. There is a great big sign that says personnel. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, she may be super bitchy, but that's me as a receptionist. Like,
That's everybody as a receptionist. What's fucked up about this movie is though, like, she's 100% in the right in everything she
totally.
does, and we hate her.
She's the villain.
This 17-year-old girl fully steals that promotion out from under her.
She steals everything.
That was her job.
Well, she's also a bitch.
Yeah, and Rose fucking hates her.
It's great.
Like, she does not even make any sort of effort to conceal the fact that she just cannot stand Carolyn, which I kind of love, but there's a couple of times, there's 1 or 2 times when Carolyn thinks she has something and then gets thwarted, and the look on her face, like when she first finds out that she didn't get the job, she's just like, oh fuck, she's like embarrassed, and I'm just like, oh, that kind of sucks. I know she's a bitch, but like, I don't know.
She's just trying to pay those bills.
Yeah.
She's trying to work her way up that.
Well, then be nice.
That corporate ladder.
Yeah. And her brother's so nice.
So cute too. Oh my god.
Her brother is the
her brother's Josh Charles.
Is Josh Charles, yeah.
Right. Twist.
Yeah, I know, right?
Plot twist. And then also, wait. So Josh Charles comes to General Peril West to deliver a hot dog to his bitchy sister.
Right.
And is talking Suellen. Suellen's standing back there.
Yeah.
And the sister's like, did you need something else, Suellen? Like, how many fucking people are named Suellen?
That's true.
I don't think I've ever met a Suellen.
I've never have.
Maybe
the only Suellen I know is from Dallas.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know her personally.
No.
I would love to. I would love to
with.
know Linda Gray.
Maybe he only calls her Swell, and he just didn't put 2 and 2 together. Because Carolyn does right next to him say,
"Yeah,
yeah, that is weird."
I noticed that. I noticed a lot of things last night that like fell through the cracks the first 180 times I watched it.
Yeah, for sure.
So we should probably talk about Joanna Cassidy's
gay
character.
icon. She threw the first brick at Stonewall. She is an icon.
She's had quite the career too. I mean, in the 80s, she was in Blade Runner.
Yes,
and
she
was in Blade Runner and Roger Rabbit too.
Yeah,
so pretty big roles.
Saw those bazooms in Blade
still
Runner.
Works, right?
Yeah, she's got to be in. She's got to be making the rounds in something.
Always really funny on 6 Feet Under as Brenda's mom.
My big question about Rose in this movie is,
what does she do?
Well, what does she do?
She's very stressed.
But what does Sue Ellen do too? Because besides the QED report, there's not a lot for her.
But
to
I want to break this hard lesson to you guys and to the listeners. People who work in offices don't do anything.
Oh no!
That's why they're on Facebook all fucking day. No one does. And
everybody
so
just runs around in meetings talking about what they're supposed to be doing.
Right,
walks around with like Trader Joe's salads in their hands.
Yeah, and I think that was the most realistic part of the movie for me. I'm like, these people don't do anything.
But the more important question is that a wig?
I thought it was.
That red bob. That's a wig.
I mean, it's fantastic.
And is it? And it's. I mean, clearly it's not supposed to be a wig. This is
She's
just
supposed to be a drag
choice.
queen, right?
She's taller than everybody. She's like statuesque. She's in flats whenever she's next to Christina Applegate.
I mean, she's fantastic.
No, she's great.
She's
great.
When you're little, you're like, and you're gay, you're like, oh, I want to be that.
Yes. Yeah. She wears, and you pointed this out in Big Business. Rose, in one of her like business blazers,
are talking
has
about the brooch?
a brooch.
Yes, it's a lizard.
It's a lizard.
And it takes up like the
bejeweled.
side. Yeah, it takes up
There was
whole
a
side of her.
big lizard moment in fashion in the late 80s and early 90s.
A crystal lizard.
If we're going to be talking about Joanna Cassidy looks in this movie, I really love her cha-cha jacket at the end of the movie. that fully looks like something that Lucy would have snuck into Ricky's club wearing.
Oh, I was going to say it's very like
it's like
Club.
last couple years of Dynasty Joan Collins.
Sure. But also she was wearing like a gold lame capri.
Yeah.
And like a gold flat.
Very unexpected fashion
gala?
choices.
Okay.
Well, that was a lot of like the late 80s, early 90s, where
true.
a lot of unexpected and unwanted fashion choices that were just kind of thrown upon.
And she put on the capris. She looked at herself and said,
"Yeah,
well, I think it's couture."
Yeah.
little Stacey Lane Matthews moment there.
Okay, so she comes in, but I love that she comes in. Oh well, I have the clip here. Let me play this clip because Sue Ellen just kind of says something that nobody asked her. She's just like, I'm applying for a job.
She knew what was up.
Yeah. So let's play this.
There's Carolyn. Mouse brown hair gives you a headache.
Talks like she's chewing her face.
That's her.
She'll be back in a few seconds. I'm here for the receptionist job.
Is this your resume?
And she's reading it with the glasses. Like,
yes.
Ooh,
like a
very impressive. This is fabulous.
Thank you.
Okay, listen. They're looking for a receptionist to replace Carol. And she's supposed to move up to be my executive administrative assistant.
which is a lot of words. I mean, nothing.
So do me a favor. You be my assistant, and I'll just tell him I hired outside the company.
Well, what about the receptionist job?
What, are you burnt out? You want to take a step down? Well, I won't let you. I need you. And besides, you're so overqualified for entry level, it's ridiculous. For God's sake, you're a Vassar gal. You'd much rather be my executive assistant. Please say yes. Yes.
I mean, this has happened to everyone here, right, when applying for jobs.
Well, also in a big corporate job like that, it's like, well...
They used to meet with like 87 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hired on the spot. Have any of you guys been hired on the spot for a job before?
I honestly feel like that happened, though. Like, back in the day.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like Lana Turner at the
Sure,
fucking
yeah.
soda shop. Like, people just...
Yeah.
It's not like it is today.
No,
The
yeah.
world sucks now.
Yeah. You could fully get like a professional level job without having
An
any
executive
experience.
administrative assistant. That's not a job.
No.
You're either an executive assistant or an administrative
administrative
assistant, not both. One is an executive position,
Level, yeah.
the other is not.
Admin, yeah. Operations. It's different.
Very confusing.
I work in an office, and there's HR, and Sue Ellen did not ever once meet with them.
No one checked her resume.
She definitely didn't have to give her like social security number or anything.
Yeah, but I think this was back in the day where you could actually lie on your resume and get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, you still can now
You
because
still
people
can.
are lazy and
Yeah.
don't like fact check things. But like back then, it was like, oh my god, I gotta call Vassar. That's a long distance phone
Right,
call.
yeah.
Like,
But I feel like people were still taking a photocopy of her driver's license.
oh yeah, they would have to pay her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Or her social, but that wouldn't say your age.
it doesn't say no. It doesn't.
This
have
is
that
going to be
info.
the suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, this is
for
where
this
we're going to
movie.
have to
It's a
just
movie.
forget about all that.
It's pretty pointless to dissect.
Yeah.
I mean, at age 9, it made perfect sense.
Oh, yeah.
to me.
Oh yeah. You just assume that this moment is going to happen to you when you're like
And
Yeah.
it looked so fun.
when you're like 18 years old.
Yeah. And when she's like giving her the tour and she's like, this is the factory and this is like you're gonna be approving his like reports or whatever. But it's like what does she do? She looks at him and signs off?
So
Like,
are
that's
these
not
reports
work.
just budget
the
analysis?
The QED report?
What are these QED reports?
We'll have to get Kathy on the phone because
Also, I think this is why our generation has a lot of really lofty ideas of what we should be.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This grandiose, like I should step into this and automatically just assume this amazing role,
Yeah.
but for no reason at all.
No. She had that desk with that very 80s office like little lamp with the green glass and like gold. It just looked like, okay, this is what an office looks like.
Yeah.
There was just like papers and things all over Rose's that first meeting where like there's all these people around Rose with like samples.
Being very serious.
Yeah. She threw a swatch, like a book of swatches, like at another woman, and the woman caught it, and I think it was she was surprised, like the extra,
Yeah.
like caught it, and I was looking at her, and she was just kind of like, "Oh fuck!" Like that woman just threw this at my face. But yeah, it was just a lot of busyness and hubbub in general. Like I think it was just to telegraph to us, like this is a busy office, and
Very
she's
important job.
in over her head.
So she ends up passing all of this work off to the hardworking Kathy,
Aw,
paid by
Kathy.
the great Kimmy Robertson from Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
She's the police station receptionist
Yes,
at Twin
she
Peaks.
is.
She has
Yeah.
always my favorite moments of Twin Peaks are her.
What happened to her?
She's
I don't know.
around.
I think she's around.
She's around. She's downstairs hanging
Well,
out.
well, how about this? I helped her once when I worked at Nordstrom.
Really?
Yes, and when I was in the transaction that I was helping her with, she opened up a Nordstrom card, And I remember on her application, I was like looking at her application because I was like, I know that voice. I know she's an actor. I don't remember her name because this is like pre-smartphones and all that.
Oh, God, what a world.
Yeah. She's filling out the application for the Nordstrom card on a piece of paper.
Oh, my God. What is that?
So I'm looking at it, and it says Kimmy Robertson. And I remember under occupation, she put self-employed.
Of course.
And I was like, okay, yeah, I guess you would put that if you're an actor. Because what's she going to put? Like, character actress, like voiceover or whatever?
So receptionist in Twin Peaks.
So Kimmy Robertson still works pretty consistently, and she did the new Twin Peaks.
Oh, that's cool.
So she was asked back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't everybody, though?
Well, except Laura.
Except
Laura Flynn Boyle, because I don't think she left that show on very good terms with everyone, so she wasn't asked back.
Notoriously a difficult person.
Yeah,
she had to go make threesome.
Yeah.
Oh God! All roads lead back.
Is
to
that
threesome.
Is that why she quit? Did she quit Twin Peaks for threesome?
I think. I think that she quit for a movie career.
Oh, okay.
The first one was threesome.
Sure.
But then she was on.
She was on some lawyer
Boston
show,
Legal?
right? Yeah, that was what we were trying to figure out in the
she was on.
episode.
She was on that show with Dylan McDermott, right?
Boston Public? No, that was about school.
The Practice.
The Practice.
Yeah,
but everybody
you
hated
go.
her there too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. We thought it was Ally McBeal the first go around. We finally figured it out.
We could do a deep dive into Ally McBeal.
Oh,
I wouldn't
man.
be mad about
yeah.
that.
But yeah, poor Kathy. She also
But not
applied
poor
for
because she offers to do all of this work for no recognition, which is
True.
honestly the most unbelievable part of the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
She's like, I love to work.
Yeah.
Like, really,
Give me
bitch?
more.
She's the real hero of this whole story.
Well, she does say that she is someone's secretary in sales, and the whole thing is that GAW is like in a slump right now.
Right.
And they're not. She said it's really slow.
Yeah, that's when I would be taking lunches.
Exactly.
Filing my nails.
People
doing
magazine,
other 90s things.
Yeah, just reading the Star.
Uh-huh.
What would you do? You didn't have the internet. Those computers?
We entertained
That was
ourselves.
a monochrome computer.
Remember?
This is true.
Oregon Trail.
Yeah.
That little that PC game where you clicked on the little boxes and one had the bomb in it with the smiley face. Minesweeper.
Minesweeper? No, but her computer wasn't even Windows.
Oh.
That was a DOS computer. It had the
Well, yeah, it was
GAW,
91.
Yeah, it was old.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Kathy takes on, a lot. I mean, I would assume that this is the bulk of Sue Ellen's work. Because take out that QED report and it's like, what else is she doing? Just
She's
like organizing
gotta approve
meetings.
things
She's just
and-
signing off on the gay seamstress and his like
Bless him, Franklin.
Franklin.
Oh, and that movies that made us gay. All-Star, because he was in.
What is he in?
That character actor was in Carrie.
Get out of here.
He's the teacher in Carrie. Are you talking about the guy from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yes.
Yeah, he was in Carrie. What's his name?
Oh, okay.
He's the teacher in Carrie. It's
okay.
Let me look up his
the one that
name.
reads the poem and he reads
Yeah.
it all shitty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wait, was that Carrie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Carrie's great. Carrie's a great gay movie.
Oh my god.
Who doesn't
yeah.
want fucking
We've
revenge
done
on
Carrie.
everyone? in high school?
Sydney Lasnik.
Okay.
Is he still with us?
No, he died.
Oh.
He died in 03. Good old Sydney.
Cursive, don't tell mom the babysitter's dead, because
Providence's mom is still alive.
true, but the middle brother's not.
Well, you know what the whole deal with the middle brother is when they were making this? He had like a drug problem when he was like
Yeah.
14, and they had to stop shooting. Some days they sort of had to scale back his character. Yeah, he had like.
I used to think
he had a
well,
drug
he was,
problem.
He was older than me when the movie
Sure,
came out, but I was
yeah.
like, oh my god, he's cute too.
He's dreamy. Yeah.
He must have been pretty young looking for his age because he was born in like 76.
Well, in 91, he would have been like 14.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
He has those sweet scenes with his girlfriend, so he's sort of a lady killer.
Yeah.
His moon goddess.
His moon goddess Sydney. I love that.
Cynthia,
you're my moon goddess. I love that Daniel Harris says that he bought her a Zsa Zsa diamond.
A Zsa Zsa diamond.
With the petty cash that made me laugh so hard.
I love any reference to Zsa Zsa Gabor.
I love this.
Zsa Zsa
I love this little
diamond.
girl just can pull out a Zsa Zsa Gabor reference.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, that was definitely a good one. But okay, so this kid. Let's talk about the brother for a second. He's like wooing Cynthia, his moon goddess, in.
And he's also a kleptomaniac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steals a wad of cash, enough to buy a fucking diamond.
Yeah.
But okay, they're sitting in a car alone. He's like reciting poetry to her, calling her the moon goddess, all this nonsense. And like First of all, it's dark. It's night. They are children. Where do her parents think she
must
is?
live down the road because when the babysitter kicks him out of the car, she just runs off into the
woods,
into the
Into
night.
the night.
So maybe
she was
just
killed by Mike Myers.
Maybe
later
she
that
just like lives down the road or something.
But like, what's his end game? They're clearly like 13 years old. He's gonna finger bang her.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Is that what straight people do?
In the back of your mom's Volvo, I would assume that's
Yeah.
what you did at 13,
Good for
unless I don't know. They
well,
may
he
be
was
doing
cute,
more.
and we're gonna pour a Heine out
Yes,
for him
indeed.
and Franklin when we're done
Yeah.
with this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she's fully immersed into GAW. Oh man, I totally forgot about Rose's weird boyfriend.
Oh God, the pedophile.
Yeah.
He works too.
Yeah.
He's
in
like a
so
vice
much shit.
president of
Yeah.
GAW.
He's trying to dip his toe.
Oh, man.
He's trying to get with
Yeah.
Rose.
Yeah.
And then he's trying to finger bang Christina Applegate.
Yeah.
At lunch.
Totally inappropriate.
And also all of those things you would be fired for today.
Oh my God, I'm thinking.
Yeah,
I'm like,
definitely.
All of those things.
did she not have to watch one corporate video about? Like,
Well, they didn't even bother to fucking call her references. You really think
Yeah.
she watched a corporate
she
video?
never had any orientation.
No,
she was just
there
like,
was none.
you are on the job now.
He was like, I'm going to stick, you know
everything
what, into every woman here, and I'm not going to get fired because it's 1991 and I'm a man.
That actor's choices, by the way, were
Epic.
Oh man,
He should have been nominated for an Oscar, and I'm surprised he wasn't.
It was very like Three's Company.
Who played
acting.
him?
It
It
was
was-
just like like his shoulder. He was very like Larry,
Yeah.
like from Three's Company. It's like, oh man,
Oh, my
he's going
God.
big with this one.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's been in a bunch of shit.
Yeah, he's worked with David Fincher a lot.
Oh wow.
He was in The Fly.
Oh
Zodiac.
yeah, it was in The Fly. I love when he takes Swell out for lunch.
Yes.
And he's
Where
like,
are they?
Yeah.
I mean,
knows?
they
At like grandma's like back patio. It just
Yeah.
looks so 80s.
And he says, order a drink, it's a special occasion. And she's like, what's the occasion? He's like, me, like, fucking you, pretty much. He's just like,
Gross.
me taking you out to lunch for the first time. Yeah, inappropriate.
And then he's like, maybe we'll have sex, and maybe we won't.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, he fully says, like, oh, yeah, and then we're going to go and fuck afterwards. And
Oh,
she's
my
like,
God.
oh,
Very
did you just say
politically
that?
incorrect.
he's
Yeah,
in a
no.
he says that he's in sort of an open relationship with
With
Rose.
Rose.
Which is very ahead of its time.
Come on. Yeah.
Yeah. but Rose like wants him to like commit.
But
Yeah.
she could
Too.
do better.
She
Oh, yeah,
can
she
do better.
could. Yeah, Joanna
She
Cash.
finds
Definitely.
herself.
Yeah. Yeah. But then he tells her, like, order a drink. And that's when she orders a martini wrong.
Yeah.
But the whole time everybody keeps telling her, you look so young, and then she's fully just like, bring me a martini.
Doesn't get card in.
Yeah.
But again, 91, simpler
Yeah.
times. No
Yeah.
one gave a fuck.
That's true.
They were all smoking indoors.
Yeah.
Smoking in the office, man.
No one gave a shit.
Yeah, seriously.
Did not glamorize LA. Did
No.
glamorize smoking.
Yes, indeed.
God,
And
I could go for a cigarette.
alcohol. We'll be right back.
Oh, I wish I still smoked. I'm waiting
I know,
for that
sometimes
day
you
that the
want to.
Marlboro company comes out and they're like, JK, everything we told you about smoking was wrong and it's actually good for you.
And you still look really cool doing it.
Yeah.
So, but during Sewell's mini orientation is when we get the first utterance of the epic
Classic
All right, on top
line.
of that, Rose.
One more thing, and this is so important. Whenever we're not alone or I'm on the phone and I ask you something, doesn't matter what it is, you always say, I'm right on top of that, Rose. Okay? Okay.
That music always reminds me of Heather's.
Because it's the same composer. It's David Newman.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, what does that have to do with anything?
Why would that make anybody on the phone
Yeah.
feel better about Rose's...
Your 17-year-old fake assistant is
Yeah,
right on top
is
of
on
it. Well,
top
fucking
of it?
great.
Yeah, who cares? I don't give a shit what your assistant's telling you. Like,
She just likes the reassurance.
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Doesn't really come
I
to
quote that
anything.
line all the time, though.
Yeah, it's the most quotable line from the film.
Yeah, but I mean, okay. I do love Rose's just like neuroses though. Every scene she's just like on the edge.
But
of,
we don't
like-
know why. It's always very unclear.
It's all of those school uniforms, man. She has to save that. She has to save that company with school uniforms.
How?
Oh, she was going to like the school board.
Yeah.
Right.
Her whole thing is.
But if your business plan is,
man, no.
honest to God, just waiting for a school board to do anything,
yeah,
close up shop.
Oh yeah, no,
right now.
Yeah, they're definitely not.
They're
running
this place into the ground.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, they hired a 17-year-old, so.
Well, I mean, how she saves the company at the end of the movie. That's a whole other
We'll
thing.
get to that. I have a lot of notes about that.
What hospital is buying these nurses' uniforms?
Oh, yes.
Like Gotham City Hospital?
We'll talk about all of the looks one by one when
what
we get
is
there.
going on?
Oh, my God.
What Boy Scout troop is like, yep, that's the look.
Yeah, let's all look like a bunch of lesbians.
So we should probably talk about the petty cash discrepancy.
Crime number 2.
Yes.
Embezzlement.
And this is big.
Embezzlement.
Yeah.
And you want to know what? 9-year-old me is like, oh, shit.
This is what happens at work? You get a cash box?
A cash box of unlimited funds that you can just use on whatever you want.
I mean, I've definitely worked at jobs where there sort of is a cash box like that, but it's definitely not unlimited funds.
I've never even heard of petty cash.
It was tracked pretty closely.
I think it's more of like restaurant. I don't know. I think it's more like restaurants. I worked at a restaurant where that was a thing, and then
I've worked at jobs with like a cash box for expenses.
Yeah,
but it's for stuff that you would have to go and buy for the company, though.
Yeah, and you just put your.
It seems that like
nobody uses cash anymore.
It seems that like Joanna Cassidy was almost saying like you can borrow money and then put it back.
Yeah, because she's like you can cash your check.
Cash personal checks.
Like you can sort of use it as a mini bank.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine going to the bank.
Yeah.
What a fucking world that must have been.
Everybody's working so hard at GAW, they don't have time to go to the bank. They got to just go up to Sue Ellen and just cash a personal check.
So Sue Ellen ends up until she gets paid, because she doesn't get paid for like 15 days or something.
Well, at least the 2 weeks until payday, and then a lot of time.
She just started, too.
Yeah, when you're in the middle of a pay period, just starting. Who knows when you're going to get your first check?
So she starts to borrow money.
Yeah.
To sort of keep her family afloat.
So maybe this is more money laundering than it is embezzlement.
But
either way.
Laundering means that you're taking the money, cleaning it,
sure,
right? And then putting it somewhere. She's literally straight up stealing.
Yeah, she's just stealing. It's just
she's going to give it back, guys.
out of her paycheck.
Well, she finds a clever way to give it back.
Sure. Well, she does say at one point that her pay or her salary is $37,500.
I would like to actually interrupt. I would like to interrupt.
How much a month is that?
Wait a second.
Hold on.
Wait a second. This is how fucked up everything is present day.
Yeah.
Her salary is $37,000 a year. Do you know what a starting salary out of college is right now in LA? $35,000 a year.
Yeah. And she's an executive assistant.
Wait, let that marinate for a hot second.
Yeah, and it is.
That was 1991. Yeah. That was almost 30 years ago. Starting salary is the same as it was 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think the implication was that it was a lot. I think the implication was that
I thought it was a lot until I was an adult.
Well, at 9,
and I was
what
like,
do we
this
know?
is shit.
Yeah, they could have been saying, 25.
She's like, oh, I should get $1,000 a week. I'm like, girlfriend.
Yeah, no, you ain't.
Yeah. Call me after Uncle Sam
gets
his
right.
all that shit.
That's kind of I like that little moment when she does look at her first check and that really sets in.
I'm hoping
she's like, what is pension?
Just for my own peace of mind, I'm hoping that the implication was that maybe today that would be like 45, 50. No. And so you're like, wow, that's a lot. This company's like throwing money at her. But yeah, probably not.
Wealth inequality, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by this gay podcast.
Seriously. So she's making 37. She's planning on making because when you break it down, when you're 17, you're like $37,000 a year times 50 or divided by 52 weeks. That means how much
doesn't quite work like that.
Yeah. So
still, I guess that would be a lot of money if you're 17 years old.
Yeah, even
now,
her $800 check or whatever for 5 kids, it's not going to go far. But I mean,
well, you clip your coupons.
Yeah,
you go to Target.
Which they end up doing.
So, I guess kind of the big character arc for all of these kids is that they learn to grow up
by committing so many crimes,
so many crimes as they're doing it,
or falling off a roof.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the little one falls off a roof. How about those jeans that he was wearing?
Oh, I was about to say that. I have written in my notes the holy jeans on Kenny.
Yeah.
So there's a shot.
You can see his ass,
There's
right?
a shot where Kenny's walking up the steps, and
can
it's from
totally
behind,
see
and I'm
his
like,
ass.
is he wearing a jockstrap?
You can fully see his cheeks.
I was like, I think he's wearing a jock because you could see like a black
when I was
strap.
little, I was too hot for the delivery boy to even fucking
Sure.
notice.
Yeah. I mean, Kenny,
he doesn't quite do it for me.
No.
It's kind of a butterface.
Yeah, he's kind of a butterface. I mean, sorry, Keith Coogan.
Sorry, Keith Coogan.
You're welcome on the show.
We're going to be doing another Keith Coogan movie probably next week, too.
Oh, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, we're going to be doing Adventures in
You
Babysitting.
motherfuckers. If you do Soap Dish and you don't invite me, I swear to God, I
Soap
will
Dish.
never fucking talk to you again.
Come on, Soap Dish. I love that movie.
It's just going to be me talking about
just-
how much I love Sally Field and she was
Do
robbed
it.
for an Oscar.
Do it.
She's
I'm
really
in.
funny in that
I'm
movie.
in. That
She's
movie's amazing.
genius in that movie. Everyone.
I didn't see Soap Dish until fairly recently, too. I never
It
grew
is
up on it.
one of the
It's great.
finest films ever made, produced by legend Aaron Spelling.
Yeah.
A cast of legends.
Oh, yeah.
I will never talk to you again.
No. We don't have a guest for Soap Dish.
Well,
Is
we
it
don't have
even
a
on the
guest for Soap
schedule?
Dish. You can come on for it.
Yeah, come on.
Was it on the schedule?
No.
Well, it is
was
now.
on the
and I'm
original-
gonna-
It was on the original spreadsheet, like way back when this was just an
It
idea.
is the gayest movie ever
yeah,
made.
Yes.
Yeah. So how about Sally Field just representing for like the super gay ass
Steel
movies?
Magnolias.
Yeah,
She's an
working
icon.
it. Yeah,
Because her son's a big old homo.
this is true.
Mm-hmm.
She's
This
a
is
good
true.
mom.
I'm thinking 1988 when they made Steel Magnolias. She's like, baby son, unborn son. How
Yeah.
old is he? Isn't he really young? I think he's
He's probably born like 90 or something.
yeah.
This
Well,
is for you.
Sally Field and your P flag mom. So, okay. They don't have enough money. They're stealing from the petty cash. This entertainment center that
Oh,
Walter
it's pretty
buys,
out of control.
But the thing is, it takes up an entire wall. It's got like really big speakers and lots of shelves
For video cassettes?
for video cassettes and like a 20-inch TV.
I think that's going to be more than $3,000 in
The TV
1991.
is so small.
That was an impulse buy.
I was upset. If I was Walter, I'd be like, this looked a lot different in the catalog because fuck this tiny ass TV. I feel like
Remember
he
when
got
TVs
screwed.
were flat?
Yeah, a big and heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
Those TVs,
The
like,
giant
get outta
flat
here.
screen, or not flat screen, just like the giant ass TVs.
And it
of
like
the
stuck
day.
out so far from the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was like a piece of the
I
furniture.
love the look that Zach gives Swell when she said, "You spent over $3,000," and he just nods, like, "Yep."
Yeah. And she's like, I bought a magazine and boobs.
Yeah. But I love the nod that kid gives her, like, yeah.
What does he say when she's like, "You bought her a diamond"?
The Zsa Zsa diamond.
Yeah, but he says like, "It's a
It's a
chip. It's a chip."
What a bunch of assholes.
Yeah, these kids.
I would have, honestly, if I were her, I would have been like, you're on your fucking own.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm locking you out of the house.
Yeah,
Go get that shit back.
I'm not buying any of your fucking
Yeah.
Fruit Loops anymore. Get
Because
the hell outta
really,
here.
fuck those kids.
Yeah, they can't even take out the trash.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They don't do anything.
She's like losing her entire summer. Oh, and then okay, she tells Danielle Harris, "You're supposed to take out the trash," and she says, "I couldn't fit it into my schedule."
Yeah, what are you doing?
Which is supposed to be like a burn because Sue Ellen's like doesn't have time for them or something because she's working so hard. But then she's like, "Oh, well, I need you to take me to like Little League signups." Perfect opportunity for Swell to be like, "Oh, well, I don't think I can fit it in my schedule."
Yeah, or
bitch,
take out the
trash.
Yeah.
You don't let kids walk all over you like that. Come on.
Well, Sue Ellen is learning a very important lesson of what it's like to
Sure.
be a parent.
Yeah.
It's awful from
Yeah.
what it looks like
Yes.
on TV.
It sucks.
And in real life.
Don't do it.
All right, so where are we? Okay, so it's like the whole embezzlement. There's the office politics of Carolyn trying to figure out what Sue Ellen's up to
With her sidekick, David Duchovny.
Who was the douchey villain in
Yeah.
every late 80s, early 90s
Yeah.
movie.
Mhm.
I don't understand what
That all felt very working girl.
I don't understand why he's so invested in like blowing the lid off
Because she
this.
was really rude to him.
Oh, that's right. She was super rude.
And
to him
you
that
know,
time. Yeah,
male ego was
yeah.
crushed.
So he's like, "Fuck this chick." Yeah,
And he wants to put his in what's her face's pussy.
And
So he's trying to help her out.
He's trying to get into Carolyn's. Yeah.
But
All
that
right.
doesn't go as planned either.
No.
So all of this is building up to the big fashion corporation event that Sue Ellen saves the day on.
And this all happens in 10 minutes.
This is the very Saved by the Bell logic of the ending. This is something that you would see on Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
It is an episode of
you
Saved
really
by the Bell.
like. You really think about, if I was 17, just like the logistics of planning this. Like what?
Dude,
just
I was
asking,
so high.
asking my friends, like, "Oh, do you want to come over to my house and be waiters?"
And they were too high to do anything.
And regrout my pool.
And regrout my pool.
That is a huge,
pretty much
huge project.
That undertaking alone.
Flip
was
the
like-
entire house.
Yeah.
Right. So at 9, I'm
Yeah.
like, holy crap, this is awesome.
Yeah.
First of all, it needed it.
Yeah.
At whatever I am now, I'm like, they regrouted that pool.
Yeah.
That is an expensive, time-consuming
Yeah.
task that looks a lot of fun in a musical montage.
Oh,
but
yeah.
is a fucking bitch to
They
do.
did your classic movie montage of revamping the house.
Everyone's got to
come
band
on.
together for this fashion show.
Well, they're all a bunch of felons. They had no choice.
Yeah. They built a runway
Over the
a
pool.
pool.
over a pool.
Yeah. But yeah, then
And that
that's
fancy curtain thing?
Yeah. Was it lights like the curtain? Yeah.
No, it was like a
Oh.
two-sided.
and I
Yeah.
suppose that just like
I don't know.
this
And
business
bleachers.
is paying for.
They put up bleachers.
And I'm assuming that this business is paying for the catwalk over the pool.
No, they're
and the
not.
lights.
They had to do it all on their own because there
all
was
the
no
because they
petty
had no
cash
money in
left.
petty cash. All the invoices were fake. I think that was the idea. Was that all the invoices were like
Yeah.
Steve's ice sculpture, and that's why it was like what's his name's friend.
The guy who was always high.
Yeah, doing the ice sculpture.
But the house looked fantastic.
It looked great.
Oh,
at
it
the
looked
end.
beautiful at the
And
end.
I'm like, where the fuck were you all summer sitting on your asses? You could have been cleaning this.
But did they like lay down sod? Because the there all the grass was just dirt. Like the entire house looked like complete
those
shit.
are just semantics.
Yeah.
I mean, the house that would have had to have been bulldozed and built over again. The shape,
Yeah.
the state that house was
Oh,
in.
yeah.
As watching it as an adult, I'm like, filth.
There were like piles of magazines on the stairs.
Yeah. For what?
That's a hoarder
Yeah.
status.
Yeah. Sorry. I
So-
could go on about the filth in that house for
So we should probably talk in great detail about General Apparel West's looks that they're selling to these investors.
it's everything that Lisa Turtle wore on Saved by the
Okay.
Bell.
It is fucking insane.
Yeah.
So there's bellhop looks.
Okay, so did we?
A
A
nurse's
profession
uniform.
that hasn't existed
No.
since like the 50s.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's established that Sue finds out to her dismay that General Apparel West is not a fashion company.
Yes.
It's
We're
a
like 3
uniform.
weeks into the job.
Yeah, exactly. I thought we were high fashion. Oh,
They
no.
essentially just do corporate uniforms.
Yes, they do corporate uniforms.
Which I honestly still don't know what that means.
Right. And who knows? It's like Cintas or like one of those like weird companies that you see, and they just make like scrubs and just like and like maid uniforms for
Waitress
hotels
outfits?
and waitress outfits, things like
Whenever
that.
I was a waiter, you had to wear your own
You had to buy
outfit.
shit,
Yeah.
right, and bring it.
God, the millennium has ruined everything.
So fucked up now. But like,
It's
let's
so
say you
fucked
worked at like Mel's Diner, and you know you're
and your
like,
Alice.
yeah, and your
Can I be
Alice.
Flo?
I would be Vera, but you
There's
know,
no shame in
want it.
that. Vera was a core character on that show. She was very essential.
She could tap dance.
Yeah, she was very essential.
They all had
to
skills. Dynamic?
stroke to the dynamic of Mel's Diner.
True.
Don't put yourself down. Vera was
Well,
core character.
I do like to break out into song every now and then, so I may have been Alice,
You
but I
may
didn't want to
have been
say I would.
Alice.
I don't want to call out Alice because she's the lead,
right.
but you
And
know
that's fine.
you
We're
know.
all Alice in our own
we are.
lives.
Yeah, everybody has a little bit of Alice in them.
You too.
I
not-
fucking love
There's
Little
a
Lavender.
new girl
I have
in
seen a little bit of Alice, but
town.
I'm not super familiar with it too. So
Are you kidding me?
And
Put that on the
she's
to-do list.
Feeling good.
Oh my
Well, we
god.
could do Alice doesn't live here anymore, and then we can dip into some of the episodes.
With what's her name?
Ellen Burstyn,
Ellen
No,
Burstyn.
right?
the other one.
Well, she
Cheryl Ladd? No.
yes.
Was it Cheryl Ladd?
Didn't Ellen
She was
Burstyn?
also
Ellen
on-
Burstyn was Alice,
Alice
and Cheryl Ladd was
Flo, but then she was also on Alice
as Belle
As Belle.
because they recast Flo
And
for the
she's
TV
someone
show.
famous' mom.
Laura Dern.
Oh, it's Laura Dern.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mhm.
All roads lead back to Laura Dern.
So-
I don't know how the fuck we
I
started
don't know.
talking about this.
Okay, so they make uniforms, and then there's this. Okay, so the thing is, they were trying to pitch the uniforms to the school board. School board said no because kids protested, and now everybody.
I love
thinks-
that. I love that performance of Joanna Cassidy when she's
having a
when
manic
she's having
episode,
a meltdown, and she's talking
breaking
about
down.
the students broke out in protest and burned uniforms in effigy.
Yeah.
I love that. In effigy.
In effigy. So Sue Ellen goes on this quest to save the company, and I like there's this moment where she's looking through. She's down in the warehouse.
She's inspired.
And
she's inspired.
She's
inspired.
She's trying to get her inspiration for to revamp the line, and they just have her doing busy work in the scene. She's going down a rack of clothes, and she's like thumbing through them, but it's like 30 of the same blouse in the same color, and I'm like, why is she thumbing through these? It's all the same. It's a uniform. So yeah,
Could you imagine if this happened today? Like all of the kids, Sue Ellen would have been like, "Oh my god, we got to clean up the house. We got to do this." The kids would have been like, let's dream board this."
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a Pinterest board.
Yeah, and literally nothing
for the
would have
event.
Nothing would happen.
That goes to show you the intuitiveness of 90s kids.
Yeah,
they would have never pulled this off in real life, but like something would have happened.
Well, maybe they would have like TaskRabbited the entire thing. Can you
Touche.
TaskRabbit like an entire house?
Probably.
It would take some
TaskRabbit
time.
a lot.
Yeah.
I also love that this investors show is happening at this farmhouse.
Sure.
Do you think that this has ever been a thing?
I love that she's like, my house
that's
is
been
fabulous.
done.
Just have it here.
Every idea that Christina Applegate had, Rose was like, fabulous.
Love it.
I love it.
It's rustic. We'll be a little bit out of the city. It's
Yeah.
rustic. You have a pool. You said it's fabulous.
Mm-hmm.
Giving me absolutely no evidence of that whatsoever. So
Never
let's just
seen
go
it.
with it. Yep.
Yeah.
And this is just when the Saved by the Bell quality of this ending. It's straight up something that you would see in like the third act of like a sitcom for children.
Yeah, this was like Mike Seaver.
Yeah.
Like pulled it off in the end.
Yeah.
With absolutely no consequences.
Nope.
No.
Sue Ellen gets away with all of this.
Yeah. She should be thrown in jail.
Well,
because at the end of the day, so we have just to, the trifecta
a little
of
recap
crimes.
of the crimes going on.
We have illegal disposal of a body.
Sure.
You can't do that.
No.
Theft.
Yeah.
And another pretty big one, fraud.
Fraud is a big one. And the amount of theft, because it's in the thousands, it gets into like grand theft.
Yeah,
after
but
a certain amount of thousands.
we're going on 1991
Sure,
money.
it's true.
$3,000 now you get taken to small claims court.
Yeah.
1991, that's a lot of money.
That was a decent amount of money.
You
Yeah.
probably would have gone to prison for that
Yeah.
for quite a while.
So speaking of fraud, the one thing that Carolyn finally finds is
a driver's license.
The driver's license. And this is where Carolyn and Rose really have their only interaction, and the disgust in Rose's voice.
Yeah, this is pre-fashion show.
Yeah.
We're all at the house.
Yes.
It's all nice now.
And Carolyn shows up in this like Debbie Gibson prom dress.
In her hoopty.
Yeah. Oh, the hoopty. I felt so bad. That she shows up in this shitty car. I love it. Yeah, and we have this little clip. Take a listen.
Excuse me, Rose? What is it, Carolyn? Something?
Since this is the biggest night in GAW history, I thought you might like to know that this all rests in the hands of a child. A child you hired.
This is by far and away the most petty, spiteful, vindictive machination you have ever concocted. Grow up, Carolyn.
Does she just think that she faked it?
Faked it. Because it's a photocopy.
But, like, Sue Ellen was at least trying to help. Carolyn's doing nothing but being a dumb bitch.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I do get Joanna Cassidy, gay icon.
Yeah.
I do get her, like, I get why she's like, fuck off. Like,
yeah,
no
for
one
sure.
cares
You've
what
done
you have
nothing.
to say.
This is
Nothing.
we're trying to save the company here,
And you're doing nothing.
Yeah,
With David Duchovny.
Yeah.
Pre X-Files.
Pre X-Files.
We didn't even know how
switchback
hot
hair.
he really was.
No.
We didn't know.
He looked gross.
What did we know in 1991?
Nothing. We knew that 90210 was just
So
on the
good.
horizon.
And 30 years later, still so fucking
We're back.
good. Yeah.
Did you watch the new episode? We haven't watched it yet.
What a ridiculous question.
Did you watch it?
Of course he watched
You know, Tori Spelling did a show like that in like the mid 2000s.
So Notorious.
Of
Yeah,
course,
of course.
yep.
I watched every
Love
episode.
it.
I love
Love
Tori
it.
Spelling because she's meta.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
she gets it. And she's in on the joke.
She's
that
in
we're
on the
all-
joke.
Always been in on it.
And she's great.
Yeah.
And the show is great. The new show is great.
Also, kind of double down on this. I'll say that Tori Spelling's performance is one of the things that ages the best from 90210.
Very
too.
controversial.
Because I just feel like that's just very Tori Spelling, that she really built up this character of Donna herself.
Very controversial.
And it's just sort of...
Brenda
that's
was good.
Just
Brenda
classic
was
Tori.
great.
Brenda's great.
You know
I
who's
love
fucking great? And
Shannon Doherty.
no, she is Tiffany Amber Thiessen.
Val.
Yeah.
She was very underappreciated.
Val. True.
And she's excellent on the show.
That character kind of really gave it the more adult soap opera feel.
Yes.
Because they didn't allow
Definitely.
anybody to be scheming.
Yeah, she's
because they
no
were
Heather
teens.
Locklear.
Yeah,
Let's
no.
not get our wires
Yeah.
crossed. Because Heather Locklear
Yeah,
was
I mean,
the fucking team
Amanda's
captain.
like-
yeah,
yeah.
And I
of
wouldn't even
Melrose Place.
describe Val's character as the girl that you love to hate, too.
Kind
You're
of,
like-
because
but I feel
remember,
like
she
Val-
like rolled
Val had some
into
nice
town.
moments, though.
She did, but
They
she was
kinda
always
broke
such a
her down.
cunt.
Yeah.
She like rolled into town, and she's like, "Oh my god, hi, Mr. and Mrs. Walsh. Like, I'm a goody two shoes."
Yep.
And then lit up that joint.
Yeah.
And Beverly Hills was never the same.
Talking about all these squares that she had
Yeah.
to meet.
God, remember she was such a bitch
Smoking.
to Kelly.
Didn't she smoke? Not like a
Yes.
thing, and none of them smoked.
Yes.
Like, I didn't care for that bob haircut that she first came in.
I wasn't mad about
It was
that.
like
Yeah.
it was like a prototype Rachel cut.
It was just a bob, parted right down the middle.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
Very
I'm
blunt.
straight up Bob.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of thinking later on.
Later on,
Val.
it was very
God,
very
she got
Rachel.
into so much shit.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother podcast.
This has been our Melrose Place and
90210
Alice moment.
Alice combo.
You want to talk about One Day at a Time?
Well, oh man. So, but wait though, we did forget that at one point in the movie, their car gets stolen by drag queens.
Okay, that's
I love
another
that.
thing that I was like, when I was 9 years old, I was like, wow, why is that person dressed as Marilyn Monroe?
Yeah.
And it's so
You don't-
fucking funny as an
Yeah.
adult.
It's
Because
such a weird throwaway joke, and it's so specific.
Specific
Like,
and so random.
Yeah.
You're just like, as a kid, you're like, oh, those ladies look
Yeah.
like Marilyn Monroe. And at 9 years old, take my gay card away. I had no idea who Liza Minnelli was.
I know, right? Liza, who?
Yeah, so I was like, oh, I know.
I knew her because my grandmother really liked Arthur
That's
with
a very
Dudley
good
Moore.
movie.
Yeah, my grandmother
It's another very problematic
loved
movie.
Arthur. Oh yeah,
But very
Yeah.
good.
So that scene in particular made me think, and it caught my eye a lot this go around. There's a lot of moments where there is some ADR, and what they're doing is covering up worse language.
Yes, I noticed that too because she says prick a lot.
She says prick,
and they change it to punk.
Punk. He
Oh,
says,
I didn't notice that.
He says, "Hey, you queens," but he was saying, "You bitches."
Queens is funnier.
I wonder
Queens
if
is
they-
funnier. I think Queens is funnier.
I wonder if they just wanted to get into a PG-13.
I think so.
Too.
For
There's
sure.
there's a part in the movie where he says like, "Oh, mom's in Terminator mode," but when you see his lips, he's saying asshole. So they cut out.
Yeah, they didn't do a very good job of it.
No,
I
they
never
didn't.
noticed it when I was little, but I
No,
for sure
yeah.
noticed it last night.
Yeah, and then even when they look at each other and they both go, "Liza,"
Yeah.
I think she's saying shit. I think she's just saying shit.
Well, because you can only say shit so many times.
I think that's
right?
it. I think they can
I think
just
it's like 4
they
or
had
5.
a couple.
But the ADR moments in that scene are so much funnier. They both
Yeah.
turn to each other and say Liza.
Yeah,
I know, and that as an adult is fucking hilarious.
yeah.
Do you think it was just one of those things that the writers or the director just knew drag queens? There's like, okay, well, we're going to put you in the movie here.
I
Like
don't-
they just
it
sort of
make-
shoehorn them into the script.
I think, and I could be wrong, I think the Marilyn is the drag queen from Bachelor Party with Tom Hanks.
Do you think that was a working drag queen?
He was,
too?
yes.
That's
Good for
awesome.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, that's a tough time to be a working drag queen.
Yeah, Bachelor Party came out in 85.
Damn.
And it was a prominent role in the movie, but it was played for this guy got duped into, like, fucking a drag
That's why everybody
And it's
hates
funny.
gay people.
At least they
movie.
refer to them as drag queens and not transvestites.
True.
So that was a very woke.
They just said drag
That was
queens,
a very
yeah.
woke moment of '91.
And you hear Danielle Harris say, "What's a drag queen?"
Yeah.
I actually do have that clip. Do you want to hear it?
Yeah, you should play it.
Okay.
Hey, are those drag queens? What's a drag queen?
That's our car. Let's go, let's go. Hey, what are you queens doing in our car?
Liza as the getaway driver.
Liza?
I mean, that's so fucking funny.
You're right, though. What are you queens doing with our car? That is funny. And if he had just said, "What are you bitches doing with our car?" I don't know.
It's funny.
I think Queens is funnier.
And you know what? You know who's timeless? Liza Minnelli.
Yeah.
Timeless.
That was a good Liza illusion too.
Yeah,
It was.
it
It was a good Liza face.
But at 9, I was like, I don't
No, yeah, it
understand
doesn't-
any of
yeah.
this. And working looks fun. What a stupid 9-year-old I was.
Yeah.
Most 9-year-olds are pretty stupid.
Working sucks.
Oh my God, it's awful.
I hate it.
Every day?
Can I just be paid to watch movies all day?
I could do that.
I would love to be paid for this podcast.
Anybody out there wants to...
Maybe HBO will sponsor it now since we've talked about how great this fucking channel was the whole time.
Keep on buying that HBO Go pass, guys.
Or just steal your
to watch
friends.
this over and over again. I know.
All right.
Or
All right.
use your parents.
So we got all these stupid runway looks from her friends that are
Jesus.
that are as these runway models.
And I would sorry to interrupt.
Go ahead.
One of her friends is Annie from Aaron Spelling's ill-fated daytime soap Sunset Beach, which I just rewatched not too long ago because they had that big earthquake / tidal wave thing.
Okay.
And Sunset Beach is a real place in Orange County, which I literally just discovered like last week. And I also live in Laguna Beach, so it's like it's down the street. I'm like, oh look, a map. She's a big soap star. She was a big soap star for a long, long time.
Which
friend
is she? Is she the one that
the redheaded one?
The nurse. I think she wears a nurse
Is she the one
uniform.
that's like being all sweet with the brother?
Yeah. If it's the redheaded one,
Yeah.
it's like the main friend. Yeah.
Her name is Annie on Sunset Beach.
Oh.
She was in the earthquake that almost killed us all. Well, they were all, but she almost really did die.
Wow.
If you want to get into some 90s bullshit nostalgia,
Sure.
Sunset Beach, Aftershock, get into it. It's
Never
all in
watched
sequential
Sunset
order.
Beach.
Was that like 95, 96?
I was 9th grade, so it had to have been 96-ish.
Okay.
It was
I
only
always-
on for like 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah, and for that reason, I always got it mixed up with, was it Malibu Shore, Malibu
Oh,
Sands?
God, Malibu Sands. But that
Malibu
was
Sands.
nighttime.
Was that with Drew Barrymore? Was she in there?
No.
Because she was in a like canceled nighttime soap. Yeah, it lasted a few episodes. Anyway, another tangent.
God, bring back 90s soaps.
There's been a lot of soap talk on this.
Nighttime soap.
Well, that's because
Soap
I'm
and-
here.
Soap and TV talk.
That's because
I love
I'm
it.
here. I'm sorry. I'm veering off course.
Yeah.
But that's what made me think of that because I had just watched
Yeah.
Still Holds Up, Sunset Beach.
Where did you watch it?
On YouTube.
YouTube. I love it. We'll look it up.
Fall
for sure.
down that K-hole. It'll be like 8 hours of your life.
I've been meaning to. I think that Models Inc. just had a big anniversary, and all
Oh
of Models
my
Inc.
God!
all
You
of,
opened
all of,
Pandora's box.
all of Models Inc. is on YouTube.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Speaking of Linda Gray.
I love Linda Gray. I stan Linda Gray. And you know what? She's a fucking great actress, and here's why. When they brought back Dallas and she fell off the wagon, she should have been Emmy nominated. And I stand by this.
yeah.
Go and watch that. She is so good. She is. I love Linda Gray. Linda Gray, if you're listening, I love you. And Linda Evans.
And you're welcome on the show.
Yeah.
See, when they brought Linda Gray on Melrose Place as...
well, we needed to spin that off.
Yeah. Right.
We needed to spin that off and never mention any of them
Of
again
Melrose Place
in
ever again.
classic 90s spin-off fashion.
But isn't she also, what's her name's mother?
Yeah, she's Amanda's
She's Amanda's mother. Yeah.
She was on Melrose Place for like a season.
No, I remember. And I remember the whole thing.
Because
like
Chaz, the boyfriend, was trying to diddle Amanda, and Linda Gray did not believe her. She believed the boyfriend, which, if you rewatch this shit, it is so... None of this shit would fly today.
Oh, my God.
Because it's
no.
always
Yeah.
the women being like, the man's right.
Right, right.
Remember Allison was raped by her dad, and literally no one believed her?
Oh, my gosh. Allison.
Anyway.
Allison had a lot going on.
I know, poor Allison. she was such a sad sack.
Yeah.
Where was I going with all this? Oh.
We brought up Linda Gray.
I just love Linda Gray. Oh, no. She believed the boyfriend till the very, very end.
Okay.
And at the very end was when they were like, oh, we're all going to Models Inc.
Okay.
We're going to be doing in a few weeks summer school with Courtney Thorne Smith.
What?
We're going to be doing summer school.
Oh, see, now you wanted to talk about Ally McBeal. The only reason why I started watching it was because fucking Courtney Thorne Smith was on her. Legend.
Courtney Thorne Smith, and I'll talk about this on our summer school episode, she was those type of blondes that I was obsessed with a little kid.
She had such a nice jawline.
That she was so pretty, and you just wanted to be that girl's friend as a child.
She was so pretty. Okay, actress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's fine.
She's serviceable in any role. She does serviceable comedy. She does serviceable drama.
Sure.
She's great.
Yeah.
She's great, and she works. Again,
steadily working.
She had a hell of a
She had that
decade.
sitcom that she was on for like years.
According to Jim.
According to Jim. That
was
fully,
on for 8 years.
She's probably set up for the rest of her life.
Put her into retirement.
Yeah. Her and Jamie Gertz.
Yep.
Jamie Gertz was on According to Jim?
No, she was on that other one. That was the same thing, but with a different title.
Okay.
That was on forever and ever and ever.
Yeah. That was that time in the 2000s where if
you
you were
could just put a
good-looking
B-level
lady.
Yeah, you could put a B-level comic with a hot broad.
Yeah.
I call him a broad,
Hot
like
broad.
I'm a trucker.
I always say broad.
Do you?
Yeah. Say it a lot.
Oh, man. What were we talking about? Oh, don't tell me.
We're still on this fashion
This
show.
stupid fashion show.
Yes.
These nurses' uniform that I don't know if nurses should probably wear spandex.
It was the
On the
early
job,
90s. We didn't know anything.
A mini dress, like a tight mini dress.
Probably not.
Yeah. Oh, and then, but also everything.
And the chef, who looked like a court jester.
The chef looked like the purple pie man from Porcupine Peak from Strawberry Shortcake and Friends. It was a little crazy.
Oh, my God.
But,
And she had a big mixing bowl.
The giant mixing bowl.
Yeah.
But Sue Ellen was, to the investors, she's trying to, show off about how, finely made and crafted these clothes are.
See, uniforms don't have to be square. They can be cool.
But her big thing was that everything was hand airbrushed.
That doesn't seem very economic.
No,
that's going to cost them a lot of money.
Yeah, these are uniforms. These people are not going to want to spend.
But in her defense, this was still the early 90s, and a lot of that shit was outsourced for
True.
a penny an hour.
But it also wouldn't have been hand airbrushed. It would have been stamped. It would have been the die cut stamp and just stamp those diamonds on there.
Semantics. This was before anyone checked anything. She was
Nobody gave a
17
shit.
fucking years old.
Well, I feel like it's couture.
Right. I thought it was too.
I love the gender-bending Boy Scout uniform. Are little boys supposed to be wearing this?
Because she fully said it's a Boy Scout uniform. And
not
it was
a Girl Scout uniform.
Yeah.
It's a Boy Scout
But
uniform.
for what? Those uniforms never changed.
No.
They've been the same
Yeah.
since the 20s.
You can't update a Boy Scout uniform. But this is all for naught because this is when finally absentee mother shows up.
Providence's mom.
In her...
The ghost
of Providence's mom in her Crocodile Dundee outfit.
What do you think our mothers would... What do you think our mothers would say if they came home to this giant event that you've thrown at your house?
Thanks for cleaning up this fucking pigsty.
Right?
Hello?
Which I think she never got a thank you for. But then my mother would have grabbed me by my hair and fucking thrown me in the pool and beaten the living shit out of me.
She wouldn't have said...
She would have commented of how nice the pool looks.
I specifically said no black tie galas.
Yeah. They're having a rager.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of middle-aged people.
I
in
want
ball
all
gowns.
these people out of my house, but it's all these executives, what? Sitting on bleachers? What does she think is happening?
I have no idea.
Doesn't make any sense.
And doesn't get a thank you.
No.
Honestly.
She's pissed off because the house looks better than you left it. You left it a fucking shithole.
Yeah, there's a valet.
Yeah.
For fuck's sake.
You can see the floor.
Yeah, and there's no newspaper everywhere.
Yeah, so she's pissed off, but then Sue Ellen goes straight into mom mode and puts all the kids to bed.
Yeah. And then she's like, aw.
Yeah.
I don't know all of the crimes that you've committed, but at least we're a family now.
At least
I would also like to point out, which I'm sure you're getting to, all of the lies are exposed.
Yeah.
Are you going there?
Yeah.
No, well, go on, though.
But go on.
There zero consequences.
No consequences.
Nope. In fact,
she gets away with all of this.
Better job for more money. And she's like, I think I'll go to college.
I'm gonna go
Let's
study.
take a look at that, because now, Sue Ellen, in real life, you are in $165,000 in debt.
Yeah.
You already got the on-the-job experience. You did not need to go to college.
Yeah.
What a dumb move.
Yeah.
Degrees are pretty useless.
Yeah.
You already got the job
Completely
offer.
useless.
Yeah.
I love that Joanna Castor's like, the investors loved it. They didn't care.
They didn't care about that
no
scene.
one cared about
They
anything.
didn't care about your big speech.
Oh,
And they loved-
our boyfriend rolls in his like taco cart or whatever the fuck that thing
Yeah.
is. Canceling, and she makes it part of
Puts him on the spot. Puts him in
like,
the show.
the suspense of belief at that moment.
Yeah.
When you're a kid, you're like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Yeah.
She's getting away with everything I want to do. As an adult, you're like, fuck, none of this would fucking happen.
Yeah.
You'd be behind bars.
He's like the coup de grace of this presentation, and
he
the
looks
investors
so
are just
fucking
like,
cute.
yes.
He
Yeah.
looks so cute.
His
All
little
he's wearing
hat.
complete white,
His
like
little In-N-Out
nothing,
hat.
nothing designer about anything
No.
he's wearing. So fucking cute though.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love him.
Okay, but I think there's a major moment missing, and I like to think that there's a deleted scene somewhere of Kathy from sales actually getting the job.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Since she did all the work to begin with.
They should have paid it forward to Kathy. There should have been a moment where you get some sort of a payoff with her.
Kathy showed up with her nerdy husband and
I know.
and a
You know what I
Jell-O
said
mold.
to that? You know what I said to that? I said, "Aw,
Get it, Kathy. She
So
showed up with a
cute.
Jell-O mold. And I didn't know if you'd need it.
I didn't know if you needed." That is what she says. It's so cute.
I feel like she should have. If this movie were made today, she would have been offered a job. Like, you take Sue Ellen's job, and we'll create a job for Sue Ellen
This
somehow.
movie, see, that's the thing. This movie couldn't
It
have
could
been made
never.
today.
Yeah. Could never be.
I
made
did
today.
read that there was a remake sort of talked about, but I don't think it went
I
anywhere,
don't think.
though.
It, well, how are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
your mother can fucking FaceTime in to check on you. What,
Oh,
are you
yeah.
always going to be on the toilet?
Or do you think it would be like a Big Little Lies sort of thing that like it would be all
The
of the
aftermath
kids
of
getting
killing.
like interrogated of what happened to this old lady?
That could work with Reese Witherspoon as a detective.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that like teen sex drama on HBO right now, Euphoria.
I can't watch these things.
Maybe
I
it's
know.
going to finally get
It hurts my
Reese.
head.
Too heavy.
Maybe it's going to finally get this Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead serious HBO show, like Reese her first Emmy.
Oh gosh.
I know
With
that she
Bernie
really
Sanders
wants
in
one.
drag.
Yep.
He'll come back. He'll come for Mrs.
Yeah.
Sturek.
Yeah.
That would be amazing.
Could you imagine? It is Bernie Sanders in drag, though.
Yeah.
It's like an old Jewish woman.
One of our favorite lines from the movie.
TV rots your brains.
I feel like Bernie Sanders has said that.
Yeah.
Like on a some speech.
It's a
I'm
slogan.
pretty sure that I've heard that on CNN.
It's
Yeah.
on a pin. And it just says Sanders.
Yeah.
Sanders 2020.
It rots your brains.
Medicare
for all.
2020.
social elite.
Oh.
Well, God love him. You know, he's trying.
Yeah, for
Good
sure.
him.
He's out. He's trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
I'm voting for the Democrat regardless of who
Yes.
gets it. So
Everyone, let's. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll make a
clearly.
blood pact.
Yeah. Well, did we leave anything out? It's kind of where it ends. It just kind of wraps up really fast.
In
Yep.
less
Yeah.
than 5 minutes.
Yeah. Rose just gets in her car.
And the cute boy who we love
Yeah.
is not mad that she's completely lied to him and screwed his sister over.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
He's like, it's okay.
Yeah.
I would like to think that this like Carolyn character, I mean, it's definitely like the Emily Blunt role of this movie from Devil Wears Prada, where you could probably tell on the page
You
this
know
was
who she
a very
turned into?
who?
Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
Oh. Ew.
But yeah, this actress does a good job because you can tell that there's probably not a lot on the page for her.
Yeah,
and
she
she
emoted.
really had
Yeah.
to like bring it.
Yeah.
And she stole every scene she was in.
She emoted.
She did. Yeah.
She took that AMDA degree.
Yeah.
And she milked it for all it was fucking
Yeah.
worth.
I enjoy the performance. It's one of the most memorable things for the movie.
Yeah.
You can just quote personnel.
Personnel.
Nonstop. And yeah, I did feel for her in some scenes, but at the end of the day, I mean, come on.
You got to root for Kelly Bundy.
Yeah.
At the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, and then Kenny decides that he's going to go to like Cordon Bleu with his like shitty haircut.
Yeah.
And become a chef.
Which also has never happened in real life because when you're a fucking stoner at like 15 years
Yeah.
old, you're a stoner until like
Oh,
25.
yeah. If you're
As a
starting that
former
young.
stoner, I would like to say how getting out and like doing anything after smoking weed for years
Yeah.
is literally the most exhausting task.
Yeah. I imagine that he still had one more year of high school.
Yeah.
Very unclear because, again, they're all
unclear
40.
how old
who
he
knows?
is.
Yeah, because he does not look like a teen. Once he cuts that, I mean, even with the long hair, but once he cut that hair, it was like
The dishes are done, man.
He was playing up that like stoner Bill and Ted voice a little. Like, all right,
He was laying it on pretty
dial
thick.
it back. Yeah,
Well, he was high.
that's true.
So what about this movie made us gay?
Fashion show.
Fashion show.
Yeah.
House makeover.
It's always
We love
It's always super
a Renault.
satisfying when you're a little gay kid to watch a career woman
Yeah, there
fulfill
is.
her dreams.
Yeah.
I mean, there is something. It's very working girl. It's that
Yeah.
same, but there's something about Joanna Cassidy that always appealed to me.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, this
Yeah.
is what I want to be. I want shoulder pads that, for
Yes.
whatever reason, make me look like I'm about to play fucking football. And I want to be in some sort of powerful setting where I get to make decisions and I have no idea what's going on.
You want to
and
be
eat
like,
M&Ms.
you want to be smoking a cigarette and
Nonstop.
like throw some file on like your assistant's desk.
Yes.
And say, I want this by 5.
I always wanted to smoke as a child.
Oh my God, yeah.
And that movie just did it for me.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
also, you know, Christina Applegate, there's something. She was like the underdog, and when
Yes.
you're gay, you're always the underdog.
Yep.
When you're
Yep.
9 years old, or
Yep.
now everyone
Oh,
loves
yeah.
everybody, but you know, back in my day,
Yeah.
And
you
there's-
know, you were rooting for her because you were her.
Yeah.
You always, when you were a kid
You were
and you
lying,
watched...
and she was lying.
When you were a kid and you watched her on Married with Children, you just really wanted to know that character, too.
Yeah.
Like her charming performance as Kelly, that she's this lovable bimbo.
Yeah.
That you just wanted to.
She was such
you,
a bimbo,
You
wasn't
just
she?
wanted to know her.
Yeah, but she and it was very much the opposite of Married with Children because she was not a bimbo at all. She was
Yeah, for sure.
super smart.
And it speaks to her like
Yep.
as an actor to be playing Kelly for so long.
She can play both.
Yeah.
And just like turned it around. And,
legendary.
yeah.
This
Yeah.
is, I mean, her first probably big vehicle.
I was. What is
As she
that
was
movie
making
that
it.
she did with that we all love with Selma Blair and Cameron
The Sweetest
Diaz?
Thing?
Oh, the Sweetest
Fucking
Thing.
good movie.
She's really funny in The Sweetest Thing.
What?
Yeah.
I said she's really funny in The
Oh my
Sweetest
God,
Thing.
all
all
are.
3 of them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's really good in that.
I mean, I feel like she at least should have gotten a Golden Globe for that.
Oh, definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
They give those to everybody.
I mean, yeah. They
I
hang
mean,
out with
I have a
Candy.
few myself.
They're holding that side of the couch up.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, definitely the underdog thing. That's kind of on this show. We kind of talk about a lot that most of these movies are female centric. Most of them are from the same time period where these women just had these obstacles to overcome. They're powerful. They a lot of time they don't take shit from straight guys or
Yeah.
from men. You know, so
yeah, she really gives David Duchovny a good reading.
yeah, you know, and like you were saying, like as a little gay boy, you're just like, okay, you know, there's a way out there for people to like,
Right, because you're not supposed to be in this position,
Mhm.
and you're figuring it out.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm not supposed to be the way I am, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
Yeah.
You know, now everybody's whatever they are. I'm like such an old man. I'm like, boys and
Like,
girls use the
you
same
can
bathroom.
go marry the dog.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Good for you. We didn't have that option. I'm glad you guys
No,
do. But, you know, when you don't have that option, you're like, holy shit, like, I want to be like that.
Yeah, for
because
sure.
she looks
Mhm.
like she's nailing it.
Yeah, she was like, I mean, as much of the character being kind of like not in control of her situation, she was in control of herself and the kids and the house. And at the end of the day, she got shit done, and that's what we liked seeing.
And she
Yeah.
smoked.
And she smoked nonstop.
And that looks so cool.
And she had a manicure.
Yeah. And before you knew how great cigarettes were, you were like, God, this looks great. And then it was great. And then you're like, oh, this
Yeah.
is going to kill me. I have to stop. But I'm going to want one every day for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Christina Applegate. And Rose.
Yeah. And Winona Ryder. I mean, they all smoked back then. Every movie.
Oh, definitely.
like-
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, everyone wants to take smoking out of Netflix shows. I'm
No.
like, turn on a fucking old movie. They're
Yeah.
all literally chain
Yeah.
smoking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, what are you going to do? Oh, that's not a real thing.
Yeah. No.
Come on.
Can't do it.
Maybe cigarettes are good for us. We don't know.
I mean, come on.
We don't know.
Who knows what tomorrow will bring?
Yeah.
Well, do we have any final thoughts?
Watch Don't Tell Mom
Watch
Babysitter.
Yeah, it's still fucking good.
It's on
HBO Go.
HBO Go.
Yeah. And it holds up.
It holds up. There's still moments that will make you laugh.
Yeah.
It's one of those movies, too. I remember definitely watching it when I was a kid, and then I feel like I didn't watch it for, like, years.
Yeah.
And then in college, I just put it on, and you're just like, yeah.
This is great.
This movie's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a good... I mean, it's Home Alone meets Working Girl. It's a formula that works.
Yeah.
You have to suspend literally all disbelief of reality.
Yeah.
But it's still good. And the two female leads are great.
No, yeah,
Timeless.
phenomenal.
Timeless.
So good. Well, thank you for coming on our show.
My
so
pleasure.
much.
I had such a good time.
Well, we're definitely going to have you back for Soap Dish.
I swear to God, if you
We
don't.
kind of did a mini Soap Dish episode here.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it.
We will get into
We'll do a deep
the underbelly
dive.
of Soap Dish and Susan Lucci.
Awesome. Well, where can people find you? Do you care to tell people about your social media, Twitter, anything like that?
Oh, God, yes. If you want to follow me on social media, which I'm really, like, starting to phase out of my life because it's awful. It's just Mark B. Rosenberg on everything.
Cool.
Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Offer of some really funny books.
Oh.
Remember reading Blackout and Breakdowns, and that was pretty good.
You were... It was Twitter.
It was. Yeah.
It was Twitter. When I was like, when I monetized Twitter before everyone else did, and I was like, will you read my book?
Yeah. I read it. I loved it.
Awesome. Well, go out and read it, guys. And while you're at it, you can find us on social media as well. We are on Instagram and Facebook at Movies That Made Us Gay. We're also on Twitter at MTUMGPod. And go on iTunes and follow us, please.
Please give us 5 stars.
Give us 5 stars.
We'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you for listening to another episode. We'll be back soon. Bye, everybody.
See you later.
Bye.
TV rots your brains.
That's a good way to end it.